Thank you for listening to this episode of the Tucumcari, New Mexico Area News Podcast, a roundup of what's newsworthy and what's going on in the Quay County area. Like our page on Facebook and join in on the discussion at the Tucumcari, New Mexico Area News discussion page. And now, here is your host, Gordon Runyon.
Thank you, my lovely wife, Joyce. This is the Tucumcari Area Local News. I am your host, Gordon Runyon, on the Reconstructionist Radio Podcast Network. Glad to have you all with us. It's, as I'm recording this, it's February the 5th. It's been about 70 degrees outside and so nice. You almost don't want to mention it. You're going to jinx something. For the first week in February, this is all right. I just have a couple of items for you. The first one is maybe more personal. And that is, I just found out today when I woke up and looked on Facebook and went to work and heard it there as well that Robert Romero has apparently passed away. And I don't know any of the circumstances. I heard one person say complications due to cancer, and another one thought it was heart attack issue or something. But regardless, Robert Romero was my classmate, class of 1984, Tucumcari High School. And it would probably be wrong to say that we were great friends or anything, but we certainly got along well, and there was never any kind of heat or anything like that. And it just, it sure does make you mindful of your own mortality. And I just wanted to mention it and speak out some condolences to his family. I know that whole family is very close-knit, and I am sorry to hear about this, and I'm sorry to think about the grief that you all are going through in this moment. And there's nothing I can do, I know, to make any of that better. I believe that Robert was a responsible individual, a man of integrity, who did his best to lead his family the right way, and he will be missed in the community. And so just my condolences to the Romero family. And I hope that in this time you were able to find peace and comfort through faith in Jesus Christ. And that's it on that note. I'm sorry to hear. I'm sorry for your loss. And there's not much more to be said. These are just rough times. Sorry, guys. The big news issue that I wanted to talk about in Quay County, the last Quay County Commission meeting, the big item that came out of that was that the commission voted unanimously to pass a resolution, which is not a county ordinance. It's like an intention saying this is what we will do. They passed a resolution that basically promises up to $1.75 million for infrastructure improvements leading up to the land that would be used for the Racino if the Gaming Commission decides that Tucumcari is the place. And when we talk about infrastructure improvements, we're talking about things like drainage ditches and roads and sewer, water lines, things of that nature. So the reason this was done, according to the article that appeared in the Quay County Sun, is, and I think this phrase was used, it was a way of putting our money where our mouth is to the Gaming Commission, so that the next time we appear before them, we have this resolution in hand that says, look, we've already said we're willing to spend the money that it takes to make this work. Okay, so right away, I have an issue with that. And if you've heard these podcasts, you might be able to guess what my issue is. And that is government shouldn't be spending taxpayer money on behalf of a particular business. What that winds up being is government deciding winners and losers. We will make improvements to make your business have a better shot at succeeding, but what about every other business that's in Quay County? What have you done for them? You're just taking property taxes from them, right? You're not helping them at all. And this is just unseemly. According to the scripture, Romans chapter 13, verses 1 through 7, if you look there, you will find quite clearly that God has given authority to the government to prosecute a very narrow mission. And that mission is to punish the bad guys and reward the good guys. That is, if you find somebody committing crimes, it's the government that's supposed to step in there and do that. That's why God has given the sword to the governor in that passage, so that the governor could be the minister of God's vengeance against sin. That's what it is. So the government's job is to punish crime wherever that happens, to defend the people from all enemies, foreign and domestic, as we say. Keep the invaders out, keep foreign armies from crushing us, but also keep criminals that are homegrown from doing all these things, or punish them when they do. That's it. Look through the Bible, get you a big Bible that has both testaments in it, and read it from cover to cover, and you're going to see that the government is never given any other task. And as soon as a government, we see this in world history and we see it in the Bible, as soon as a government departs from that God-given mission, it begins to do evil, even when it's trying to do good. And that's because you can use a crescent wrench as a hammer, but it's not going to do a good job at being a hammer, because that's not what it's designed for. And so government's design is for one thing: punish the wicked, reward the righteous. And that's it. And now we've got county taxpayer money that's being used for the benefit of a specific business at a specific time. Now, I know the argument then is, well, but see, if we benefit this business, then we're going to get a percentage of the profits, and that will help everybody in Quay County. And so it's right for us to go ahead and invest this way. But the truth of the matter is that in a small community, in a small county like ours, any successful business helps the community. It just does. Any successful business boosts the economy in a population as small as ours. Now, this business that we're talking about may be a lot bigger, but I don't see you out there helping the smaller businesses. Most of the people in Quay County are employed by small businesses who are not being helped by taxpayer money. In fact, they're the ones paying the taxes. And now you're taking money from one place and putting it to work, investing it in the success of a private business over in another place. That's not what government is supposed to do. That, if you take that to its logical conclusion, it becomes what the United States was dealing with in Great Britain at the time of the War of Independence. And that is, technically, it's called mercantilism, where the government decides that certain businesses are worth helping and protecting to the detriment even of other businesses. So that's not capitalism, that's government intrusion into the free market in the form of, like I say, mercantilism. But there was another issue, and that is that the county attorney is local Quay County lawyer Warren Frost. Warren Frost is also a partner and spokesperson and apparently legal counsel for the Coronado Partners, which is the organization that is bidding to have the Racino come in. Coronado Partners is a private business venture. It's not public at all. It's not taxpayer money. It's businessmen getting together in order to try to make this happen. Now, if the Racino does come to Tucumcari and they come to the spot that has been bid, Coronado Partners stands to make a lot of money off of that deal, which means Warren Frost stands to make a lot of money off of that deal. And before I say any more, let me say, I'm super in favor of everybody making all the money they can in every legal and moral way that they can make it. If everybody got rich, I'd be happy. And if one person gets rich because he struck the right deal, or he worked harder, or he invested more, he put more at risk, and he gets rich as a result, hey, more power to you. Good for you. We don't hate on the rich. We like the rich. I'd like to be the rich. I'd like everybody that I love to be the rich. So we're not hating on people making a profit. That's what business is supposed to do. That's how God designed the world. Okay, so nobody's hating on the fact that if the Racino comes, the Coronado Partners will be enriched as a result. I don't know how much they stand to make. I don't really care. I hope it's a lot. I really do. I hope it's a lot. If the Racino comes, I hope all the Coronado Partners are richly rewarded for all the work that they've put into this. Now, here's the thing. Warren Frost is the county attorney, and he's also part of the Coronado Partners, and the county has just committed itself to $1.75 million to help the private business venture look more attractive to the Gaming Commission. Now, I'm not saying that Warren Frost has done anything wrong. And in fact, I would be shocked to find out that he had. I believe he's a really smart guy. There's no way he's going to break any kind of rule that jeopardizes either him or his career or this business venture. So I don't believe for a second that anything illegal or unethical, according to the ethics of modern law practice and government, I'd be shocked to find out that anything off kilter has been done in this. I don't think it has. But I'll tell you what, from talking to people, it doesn't look good. It does not look good that you've got a guy who's working with the county government and he successfully gets the county government to agree to spend a great deal of money in terms of Quay County, a great deal of money in order to make his own business venture more attractive, more likely to succeed. That's not a great look. Not a great look. And in fact, what it does, on top of being mercantilism, it now puts Quay County in the position of being like an investor in the business. Now we all have to hope that the business does really well because we've got skin in the game. County money is going to be involved in this. And if it doesn't work out, that's just going to be money down the drain. And so we're like investors now, whether you want it to be or not. And there's another reason this thing is unsavory or unseemly is because nobody gets a choice about whether or not they're going to pay their county taxes. If you don't believe what I'm saying, try choosing not to pay your property taxes and see what happens. Nobody has a choice. Everybody's got to pay what the county tells them to pay. And that includes the large percentage of people in Quay County who are passionately against gambling and bringing in the Racino. They don't get a say about where their tax money goes. Well, some people really want it. Well, some people really don't. And that's a thing that's not seemly either. We're supposed to be a government where you have representation, but you had county commissioners, one of whom asked during the meeting, isn't this with regard to Warren Frost being involved in both organizations, this at least looks like a conflict of interest, right? Now, I wasn't there to hear the discussion, but he apparently got over his objection and voted in favor. But the fact that he asked it, and the fact that Warren Frost in the newspaper is quoted as saying this should not be seen as a investment in the business. Well, why would you say that unless you know that's exactly what it looks like? That's exactly what it looks like. And it's hard to figure out how that's not what it is. It may be legal, it may pass all the ethics rules, but it's a bad look. And for people who don't want the Racino to come, what if you're a restaurant owner or you're a hotel owner and the Racino is actually going to be competition for your business? Maybe your business is on the other end of town, and now you're going to be in competition with the Racino. They're going to be draining business from you. But your tax money is going to be used to fund your competition. That's hardly a free market. And the free market, I've said it before, I'll say it again, the free market is the economic system that is taught in the Bible from cover to cover. The only time you see economics happening in the Bible, it's individuals who own their own property and enter into voluntary negotiations and economic deals with other people who are willing to do business with them. Free market. That's what's throughout the entire scripture.
We hope this episode of the Tucumcari, New Mexico Area News has been a blessing to you. Remember to like our page on Facebook to stay current on what's happening in Quay County. We are honored to be a part of the Reconstructionist Radio Podcast Network. Either Christ is Lord of all, or he's not Lord at all.